It's obvious that he would be concerned about what's going on in this country today. If you look at just some of the statistics, it now turns out that the U.S. government spending, federal, state, and local, this is really depressing, as a share of gross domestic product has grown in the last 3 years from 35%, which arguably is incredibly high, to now 45%. So it's approaching 50% stemming from government spending. One of Professor Friedman's favorite measures for bureaucratic growth was the number of pages published each year by the Federal Register. Friedman was delighted during the 8 years of Reagan's presidency that number went down from 90,000 pages in 80 to 50,000 pages by 1988. Sadly, that has now grown back steadily to 80,000 pages. Perhaps even more alarming to both Rose and Milton Friedman would be the fact that the Heritage Foundation's 2010 Index of Economic Freedom, they take a number of parameters in each country, measures, very objective measurement, that showed the U.S. experienced the largest decline in that index of freedom when compared to the 20 largest global economies. You'd also be concerned about a recent 2010 Pew survey where people around the world were asked this question, get this, are people better off in a free economy? The U.S. ranks 9th in 2010. Just last year, 2009, it ranked 6th, so it's gone from 6th to 9th. Now, what countries would you say would be the highest in that, in terms of asking the people living there, number 1, 2, and 3? The number 1, in terms of positive attitudes about the free market, number 1 is China. Number 2 is Nigeria. Number 3 is India. And also above the U.S., higher than the U.S. in positive perception of free market, Brazil, Kenya, and Poland. While Professor Friedman, I think, would look askance at our relatively low ranking, I doubt that he would be surprised. His remarkable insight into human nature allowed him to see that people live and prosper, who lived and prospered for long periods of time as a result of free markets, take that prosperity for granted. They wrote, Rose Friedman wrote in Free to Choose, ironically, the very success of economic and political freedom reduced its appeal to later thinkers. People took the favorable developments for granted. They forgot the danger to freedom that comes from a growing government.